In the vast history of human civilization, few events capture our imagination more deeply than mysterious disappearances. Stories of people who simply vanish, leaving behind no trace, no explanation, and no closure, continue to fascinate and terrify us. Among these, one disappearance stands above the rest, an event so baffling, so shocking, that it continues to haunt the world to this very day. This is the story of Amelia Earhart, the pioneering aviator whose disappearance in 1937 remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in history. Amelia Earhart was not just a pilot, she was a symbol of courage, determination, and progress. At a time when aviation itself was still a new frontier, she became the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean, earning her worldwide fame. Her dream, however, was bigger than fame. She wanted to circumnavigate the globe, to prove that the sky was no limit for those who dared to dream. In 1937, Amelia set out on her most ambitious journey. Together with her navigator Fred Noonan, she planned to fly around the world in a twin-engine Lockheed Electra. It was to be a journey of nearly 29,000 miles. After weeks of flying through South America, across Africa, India, and Southeast Asia, the duo reached Lae, New Guinea on June 29, 1937. From there they faced the most dangerous leg of their trip, flying 2,556 miles across the Pacific Ocean to a tiny speck of land called Howland Island. On the morning of July 2nd, Amelia and Fred took off from Lae. Their plane, heavily loaded with fuel, climbed into the sky. The weather was uncertain, and communication technology at the time was primitive. The plan was simple. Amelia would stay in radio contact with the Coast Guard cutter Itasca, stationed near Howland Island. The Itasca would guide her plane in, using radio signals to help her navigate toward the island. But as the hours passed, something went terribly wrong. Radio operators aboard the Itasca received transmissions from Amelia, but her voice was faint, often broken, and filled with desperation. She reported that she could not locate Howland Island. One of her final transmissions, chilling in its simplicity, was, "We are running north and south, we cannot see you, fuel is running low," and then, silence. Amelia Earhart, Fred Noonan, and the Lockheed Electra disappeared into the vast Pacific Ocean. The disappearance shocked the world. Amelia was not only a global celebrity but also an icon of hope and progress. The US government launched the most expensive and extensive search in history at the time. Battleships, aircraft, and thousands of personnel scoured the Pacific. For weeks, they searched the waters and nearby islands, but nothing was found. No wreckage, no bodies, no evidence. It was as if the ocean had swallowed them whole. In the years that followed, countless theories emerged. Some believed the plane had simply run out of fuel and crashed into the ocean. This is the simplest explanation, that Amelia and Fred perished at sea, and the wreckage sank thousands of feet to the ocean floor, hidden forever. But others were not satisfied with such a simple ending. Conspiracy theories began to grow. One popular theory suggested that Amelia was captured by the Japanese. According to this theory, she and Fred were taken prisoner, perhaps executed or forced to live in secret. Another theory, known as the Niku hypothesis, suggested that Amelia and Fred crash-landed on a remote island in the Phoenix Group. On this deserted coral atoll, explorers later found pieces of metal, remnants of shoes, and even bones that some believed could belong to Amelia. Over the decades, explorers, scientists, and historians have returned again and again to the Pacific, searching for answers. High-tech sonar scans have combed the ocean floor. Yet, despite tantalizing clues, no conclusive evidence has ever been found. The disappearance of Amelia Earhart is more than just an unsolved case. It is a story of human ambition and the risks we take when we dare to push beyond the known. Amelia was not reckless, she was brave. She knew the dangers, but she believed in flying, in discovery, in paving the way for others, and yet perhaps that is why her story endures. The mystery keeps her alive in our imagination. We imagine her voice crackling through the radio, filled with determination and fear. Even today, nearly a century later, people are still searching, but until that day comes, her legacy is not of loss, but of courage. She once said, "Adventure is worthwhile in itself." Perhaps that is the lesson we should take from her disappearance. And so, the mystery endures. The disappearance that shocked the world remains unsolved. A haunting reminder that even in our modern age, the world is still vast, dangerous, and filled